Yo, we got some crazy news today in the form of Sony Interactive buys Bungie, okay, for $3.6 billion. Now, this seems like an obvious answer to Microsoft being like super aggressive lately. They're like, we're buying Bethesda, we're buying a mobile game developer, we're buying Activision Blizzard, you know what I'm saying? And so, Sony's been pretty behind in that race lately. But this is the first like major acquisition we've seen from them. But the question for all of us Destiny players is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? What are the details? So let's break it down a little bit in this video. We'll talk about what we've seen in the past when Bungie's been teamed up with other people, and we'll talk about what this means for the future. One of the first things I want to get out of the way right now is that a lot of people are concerned about Bungie going exclusive, okay? They're worried about, okay, well, Destiny's going to end up being a Sony exclusive now, and I can't play it on my Xbox. Don't worry about that. This is a quote taken directly from the article from Pete Parsons, the CEO of Bungie, wrote this. He says, "We remain in charge of our destiny. We will continue to independently publish and creatively develop our games. We will continue to drive one unified Bungie community." That's big. One unified Bungie community. Our games will continue to be where our community is, wherever they choose to play. In other words, we're not going exclusive. And they talked about this a lot in the article about how Sony's role here really seems to be about expansion, not putting on limiters. Okay, so they keep saying like Sony's here to partner with us. They're letting us continue to just hold the reins. We saw Bungie give up a little bit of their independence with the Activision relationship that they once had, which wasn't all bad, by the way. I know a lot of people really celebrated that split, and overall, it was a good thing because knowing what we know about Activision right now, that was a good move. But every relationship has pros and cons, and there were some pros to that relationship, no doubt. One of the things that I would remind people of is that we have already seen what Destiny can be when Bungie has access to some extra resources. Okay, think, for example, one of the greatest activities that people remember in the Destiny 2 universe is Menagerie. Everyone loved Menagerie, like target farming loot, going through and having these rotate. You go from room to room, encounter to encounter. It's match made, 6-man activity. You can go into a harder mode too for different loot, better loot, and more challenges, right? What a great activity. Hey, not made in-house at Bungie. Okay, you're looking at that's Vicarious Visions. Okay, helped with that. You also have Warmind was the best content we got in the first year of Destiny 2. Destiny 2's launch was rocky at best. Curse of Osiris solidified the rockiness of Destiny 2. It wasn't until Vicarious Visions, who is a different studio that was owned by Activision at the time, they lended their talent to the Destiny universe, and they gave us the best content we had in year one, which was the Warmind DLC. And then on top of that, Black Armory, they did Black Armory. Forsaken was funded largely by the Activision relationship. So we've seen what Destiny can be with some extra resources. And so this relationship with Sony, by all accounts so far, seems to be more about expansion, not limiting the reach of the Destiny universe. Not only that, but another thing to keep in mind is that this isn't just about Destiny. Okay, we've known for a while now that Bungie has other IPs that they're experimenting with and actively developing in-house. They've expanded the studio quite a bit, like literally and in terms of their numbers. They have literally built more space onto the studio, and sometimes you'll see developers at Bungie posting pictures of the office expansion that's going on there in Bellevue, just outside of Seattle. But on top of that, they've been hiring a lot of talent, and they said in the article, one of the things you're going to see in terms of like what happens from this acquisition. I wanted to say Activision, but that's not it. After this acquisition, you're going to start seeing more hiring, and they're going to be expanding the studio. They've got the revenue to do that now. So Sony is here to really help expand what Destiny can be and the other IPs at Bungie, not put limiters on that. There's a lot to cover here. What does this really mean for Bungie? What does it mean for Destiny? One of the things that it means is that they're going to have more bandwidth. So we've seen in the recent past, Bungie's really struggling. They have big ambitions for what Destiny can be, should be. and they've been really focusing all of their not all but most of their efforts on the PvE sphere, which is great. I mean, Destiny is a PvE first. I'm a PvP guy, and I will admit Destiny is more about PvE than it is about PvP. It is about both. To be fair, to be completely fair to that discussion, it is about both, but it is more PvE driven than PvP. So they put the resources in the right spot, I think, but they lacked the bandwidth to really keep up with the PvP community's demands and expectations. And so we've seen a lack of maps. We've seen a lack of new game modes. We've seen slower sandbox updates and stuff like that, which we have gotten, to be fair. We've gotten more sandbox updates recently, but there was a time where it was few and far between. But now that they have more resources and they're hiring more people, they're going to have more bandwidth to keep up with stuff like that. We might actually see more regular PvP maps. If they could literally say, we hired an entire team or we hired a number of people to come on board with the PvP team, and now they're going to be actively developing maps, like that's their job. That would be great, so we'll have more support on the PvP side of things. That's a possibility now. And so we could see Destiny continue to expand the PvP, but not at the expense of PvE. Both can continue to go forward. So that's one thing that could be really good about this. And like they said, it's all in-house. They're not actually, from at least from what we've been given, the information we've been given in the article, which I'll link the article in the description, by the way, if you want to read it on your own. But it doesn't sound like they're going to be outsourcing Destiny work to other studios owned by Sony. They said, we are in charge of Destiny. We will continue to develop Destiny in-house, but we're going to hire more people. So it looks like it's more about expanding Bungie. So Bungie's still overseeing it all. So as opposed to outsourcing like we did with Activision to Vicarious Visions, which was a good relationship, I will say. The relationship with Vicarious, I think Vicarious was really a boon to the Destiny universe. But that's neither here nor there. Another thing this could mean, one of the things you have to remember, Sony is not just a platform for people to play video games on. Sony is also the owners of Sony Entertainment, Sony Pictures, right? They made the Spider-Man movies. Can you imagine if we see Destiny on screen sometime? Like I said, this seems like it's more about expanding the reach of Destiny and Bungie, not limiting it. We could see a TV series, a movie. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe even an animated series. I don't know though. Arcane popped off. Who's saying Destiny can't be another successful animated show? I mean, the lore is there. Very rich narrative is right there, free for the taking. And Sony says we want in. So all of this to say, I think this is a big power play by Sony, no doubt. And I think Sony wants to expand. They want to tap into what's going on at Destiny with Destiny. And I think that Destiny's proven itself over the years to be pretty lucrative and to be a very interesting gaming world and atmosphere that people want to be involved in for all of its faults and boons. Sony wants in on it, and that's cool. We could see the expansion of the Destiny universe in a really big way. Overall, I'm assuming, I know, maybe it's dangerous to assume so. I'm assuming this is going to be a good thing for Destiny overall. More resources, more capital, more manpower means more content. And not just more content, maybe better content, And maybe it affects the timeline as well that Bungie's currently been going through. Like, this is when we can get new content out to you that we like. You know what I mean? Maybe that timeline is a little bit shorter. Maybe they can do that faster now because they have the bandwidth to do it. Anyways, thought I'd keep you in the loop. That's what's been happening today. That's the news that broke today and what we know about it so far. What do you guys think? Is this a good acquisition? Who got a better deal here? Did Sony get a better deal buying Bungie for $3.6 billion, or did Microsoft get a better deal paying was it 90? I don't know. It was a huge number, billions of dollars for for Activision Blizzard. Given there's a lot more in the Activision Blizzard under that umbrella. I mean, you got Diablo, you got Overwatch, you got all kinds of great IPs and titles that they can run with. So they certainly got more, but who got a better deal? I don't know. Let's see. Do you think Bungie was worth $3.6 billion? We saw Bethesda get picked up for... Microsoft bought Bethesda for $7.5 billion. Okay, Bethesda, they've got things like, the Elder Scrolls, the Fallout series. Anyways, we've seen a lot of these power plays. This is just another one. Let's see where it goes. Are you excited? Let me know. Let's chat about it. Thanks for watching the video. Feel free to like it if you enjoyed it. Love you guys. Bye.